Hello, cats and kittens, and welcome to another episode of Tavern Talk. We missed last month, but I'm only mentioning that because some of you may have wondered where that happened. We had some issues, didn't get it done, but we're here now, and we are here today to have a really fun dungeon draft. Specifically, the Dragon Adventure book for D&D recently released their Dragon Delves, and we thought, what better time to draft up a dungeon like we have in the past, but this time make us a really cool dragon lair. So introductions in order again. I am Ben, also known as Meta Mongoose, over on the Crick Cats Discord. With me, drop my dice. With me is, of course, Sasha and Sweet and Lynn, all here to have a wonderful time drafting a dungeon. For those who are unfamiliar with our dungeon drafts, first off, go back to our YouTube list and go watch some. We've done like 2 of them so far, and they're really fun. But if you want to know now, basically how this works is we have a dungeon map. That dungeon map is already preset. It is pretty generic in that we will fill it with fun things, and we have a list of fun things. So I will take you through a quick look at how this works. We have the dungeon map, which is right here, and we'll come back to it as we begin filling it. This particular one, we are going to turn into a dragon lair. It has some features that are good for dragons, some other features that may be good for dragon minions, lots of spaces to put treasures and or set up crafty traps to kill adventurers. And so we're gonna fill it, but in order to fill it, we have to draft how we're filling it. And so that is this list here of 10 questions, mostly where's, when's, who's, what's, why's. And there are 4 of us today, and there are only 10 questions. So how we're going to solve for this is we're all going to roll a d20, and we're going to number off from there, and that's basically our draft order. And when it's your turn, you get to pick one of these questions. Once all the questions are drafted, we will go through and begin answering them. And it is kind of a collaborative system. So as new features are added or as new monsters are thrown in, we can all kind of build a dungeon together that kind of fits it all. So kind of think in mind how you want your dungeon to go, and then kind of throw it out the window, because it's gonna. Last time we did this, or the first time we did this, we had a dungeon, and all of a sudden it became about worms.
Squiggly worms.
So many squiggly worms, which was not exactly where I expected it to go at all, honestly. Any questions from the crowd who have done this at least once before, I think, or I forget. Has everyone done this before? Has nobody done this yet? Has somebody not done this
Man,
yet?
I think it's just been you and me, I think. And there was
No,
also
Lynn's
one
done
other.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
Sweet, have you
I've
done a
done
dungeon
Okay, you
draft?
have. You have.
Not like this.
Okay.
So like I've like drawn dungeons for people when they've given me information, and I've helped give people ideas for what to put in things, but I've never done one of these like collaborative top down.
Okay, so this is your first
let's
dungeon
plan a
draft.
dungeon. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good news. It's time to roll the d20 and figure out our draft order.
Yeah. Roll
I
for
have
initiative.
a 14.
Ooh.
I got an 8.
I got an 18.
Ooh.
Nice.
And
16.
16? Okay, so it looks like it's going to go Sasha, then Sweet, then me, then Lynn. So that's our draft order. You have the 10 questions. First question, I'll read through these again just so that we're all clear. First one is a where. So where is the dungeon located, and how does the environment outside affect the inside of the dungeon? Question 2 is a when. So when was the dungeon originally created, or when did its current inhabitants move in? You can answer both questions if you want. Their next one is a who. So who is the significant NPCs of the dungeon? The big bad, which I assume is the dragon. A good NPC or a neutral NPC you can slip in there. I believe in our first foray into this, one of the neutral NPCs was a lost adventurer who had gone crazy and had been wandering around trying to become one with the worms of the dungeon.
I think I remember that one.
But he was a neutral NPC. He was weird. And then we have a whole slate. 4 through 7 is who or what. So you can pick a monster, a trap, or a puzzle to inhabit the dungeon. Question 8 is a what. So what do the inhabitants of the dungeon want, and what have they done? And then 9 is also a what. What is the main treasure of note that can be acquired? And question 10 is a why. Why are the player characters going to the dungeon? So Sasha, you have won the initiative and can pick your first pick of the major questions. So which of these questions speaks to you?
I think I will choose number 10
Okay,
as
so
to
you
why
want
the
the
player
why. So
character
I'll
going
put
to
your
the
name
dungeon. Yeah.
next to the why. All right, Sweet, you're next. Which of these 10 has been claimed, but 1 through 9 is still available.
Of the topics?
Yes.
Sorry, I had to jump back. Oh, did you not post? I'm so dumb.
Oh,
I thought you'd posted it somewhere.
that's
That's
my
why I was
bad.
like going to
This
go
can
back and look. There it is. There it is. Okay.
okay.
I was just in the wrong chat. Okay. You took 9.
No, she took 10. You're
Oh,
looking at a
And
previous. You're looking at a previous one.
mm,
Uh, Here,
I just needed the numbers.
let me send you. I'll post a blank one real quick in the discussion. Over to the discussion real quick.
Okay.
Look away as the camera changes. All right, there you go.
All right. So you got
So she
10.
took 10, which is the why the player characters are going to the dungeon.
Uh, I'm actually going to go for 9.
Okay, so you want
The
what the
treasure.
main treasure is,
I got ideas.
which may or may not change based on what lives here
Everything else.
and everything
Yeah.
else. I will pick. Let's see. Let us influence what lives here. So I will
did you
take.
put my name twice?
Huh? Oh, did I?
Did you put my?
Oh,
I
sorry.
think you did.
I'm still in vacation brain.
That's fair. I go on vacation in a couple weeks, so I'm excited for
Um,
that.
I like monsters, so I will take 4 as a pick of a monster trap or puzzle that inhabits the dungeon.
Let's see. I think I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna pick number 5, actually.
Okay, so you're going to be the next possible monster trap or puzzle pick. All right. Sasha, back to you.
I'm gonna choose number 7 for monster trap or puzzle.
Nobody wants to pick the dragon.
I mean, I want that, but at the same time, I also love like making puzzles or having
That's fair.
monsters or
That's fair.
traps. It's fun.
Sweet. We still have the where, the when, the significant who, another who what pick, the what does the inhabitants want or what have they done. Those are our other options.
Put me down for 7. I want to do
7.
one of the
So another or
monster
6.
trapper puzzle.
6 is a monster trapper puzzle. So
Yeah.
all right. Well, I guess that means I'm gonna pick the dragon. No one else is gonna pick the dragon. I'll pick the dragon. I'll be that guy. And then Lynn, we have a where, which may very much influence the kind of dragon we end up with, or a when, which would be when the dungeon was originally created, or when were its current inhabitants moved in, or the important what. What did the inhabitants of the dungeon want, and what have they done?
Let's pick number 8 on what do they want?
You want the what, and what have they
Yeah.
done? All right. That leaves 1 and 2. So our where and our when. So Sasha?
I think I'll go with the I'll go with number 2.
Okay, so you want the when.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a fun one. And that means that by default, Lynn's feet gets to pick our where.
Oh, okay.
All right, so to review, I will put the dungeon map back up so that people can see it. We have this dungeon map. We're going to populate it with some things. And first on the list is deciding where the dungeon is located and how its environment outside affects the inside of the dungeon. And that is feet. Take it away.
Oh boy.
We have a map, and we just need to figure out where it exists.
All right. It doesn't necessarily have to be snowy, right?
Oh God, no!
But
Like there's nothing. At bare minimum, there needs to be grass outside a little bit of river, and it's built into some kind of a rock face. But it doesn't even have to be like a mountain. It could be like a bluff or a strip mined hill or something.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I
And
was about
honestly,
to
it doesn't
say
even have
because
to
it
be
does.
grassy outside. It could just be like a weird greenish crystalline sand for all I know.
Yeah, it does remind me of like strip mining practices. You know what I mean? The way it's like layered down. Anyway, um, I guess this is the one part I didn't really think of that much. I guess I was already thinking of some sort of like tundra.
Okay.
Um, you know,
So like a mountainous tundra of some kind?
yeah,
Or
like when you first leave, yeah, like I I don't know another term for it, but like Sonoran Desert, if that makes sense. So like high desert, or you know where you
okay.
get like tundras, but it can still snow, but it's like
Like an arid desert? Is
yes,
that
yeah.
where you're aiming for?
That's kind of where I was going a little bit, yeah.
Okay. And you don't have to, but uh, would you like the outside uh, grassy sort of area to be kind of like tundra plant? Or if it's more of a desert, would you like to explain why the sand is not normally colored? You can make it up. You can make it weird.
I guess I was thinking of like tall grasses, sagebrush, you know,
Okay.
just like a mixture of stuff. But you know how like when the ground dries super quick after having a lot of moisture and it kind of cracks? It's like
Okay.
that all over the place. So it's like one distinct feature outside of this dungeon that would just be like, wait, what? Especially because it doesn't
Like a
seem like the rest of the area changes that often or quick. So there's like a lot of that, like, you can tell there's like a lot of either moisture change happening or, you know, there's like a big fluctuation in temperature that's happening that causes the ground to be brittle like that.
so a
And like,
craggy area.
yeah, with
Okay.
random offshoots of like brush and, you know, yeah.
How does the environment outside affect the inside of the dungeon?
Despite it being like cooler and everything, it's very dry. So I think like being outside just in general is so arid and so dry and probably at elevation that once you get inside it's almost like a respite from it, you
Like a
know?
little
So
humidor of sorts.
yeah, so like the earth is like literally keeping in that moisture
So
that
the
just
the
gets
moisture from
sucked
like
from
that
your
river,
skin.
from that river that runs through it, kind of keeps it kind of soggy.
Underground river, yeah, like that makes sense, like a cave river.
All right.
That's why inside of the caves would be more humid and moist than like say the outside. That's like wind swept and like always very dry and kind of feels like you're in the middle of an elevated desert.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Let's see. Are there any other uh, local biology or environmental effects you would like to attribute to the area?
Also like natural phenomenon per se or
Maybe. Or maybe there maybe not like a it does like this is a could be a shelter from high wind dust storms
I was literally
or
just thinking dirt devils. Yeah,
okay,
like dust devils would be like really frequent in the area.
okay.
And that's why it would be almost like jarring to get into some of the deeper levels of this dungeon because it'll be like a total opposite of like what they were in, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So it's got this area is full of like low grade dust storms. Okay. Well, that will help inform what could live here. This gives me a feel of maybe like an elementally charged area. So there could
That's
be
where my
like
mind
little
wanders.
mephits or something that hang
Yeah.
out, or at least used to hang out here before a dragon moved in. I don't know. We'll find out when we get to
Hmm.
the monster picks.
Yeah.
So Sasha, you have a when. So when was this dungeon originally created, and when did its current inhabitants move in? They could be near the same time, or they could be vastly different.
So I would want to say that this was developed when a cataclysmic event happened, which caused all of the crag to form in the ground, and then it kind of formed part of this area where it's been since kind of carved out naturally over time. So let's go with maybe a couple thousand years is how long it's been there. And it's just been kind of naturally forming, which is where like the river comes through and dips down and kind of created its own path in order to get out.
That was weird.
That was weird.
I,
That was a weird. I thought I did something
no,
wrong. I was
nope.
like,
That
no.
was me for some reason. Huh? That's
Yeah, it
strange.
was. But anyways, yeah, that would be part of what it would be. I figured like something happened, some kind of cataclysmic event happened, and like started the formation, the beginning of this, and then let's say about 1,000 years in to the after effects, and insert creature found it and started kind of making it its home. But I would also feel like it's something that's kind of attached to that event that would cause it to find this shelter here and start making it its own home, especially with the water going through.
Okay, so
And I could
from
definitely
what I'm
see
getting is
a
about 1,000 years ago. We'll put a nice couple round number on that. Uh, Originally created during a cataclysm of some kind. It is naturally occurring erosion from the water, and you want to say that somebody over the course of those 1,000 years, somebody carved out like a home, like in that worked area where the
mm-hmm.
and and that's and so somebody has done that. When did the current dungeon inhabitants, like the dragon, Like, has the dragon been here for thousands of years, or has it, or is
I
it
would
a
say
new? Has it moved in?
that it's been around and it was kind of looking for a home and it found that 8 area and was like, "Huh, I can fit in there." And then kind of just started going from there and discovered it and was like, "This place was a lot bigger than I thought it was. Looks like this is my new home."
All
I could
right.
definitely see it being very elementally charged too.
Um. All right. So the current inhabitant moved in recently, or within the last how how long has it been
So
since the new owner?
So I had said like the cataclysm event happened 2,000 years ago, 1,000 years in, someone built that, and let's go with another 500-ish years, the dragon or whatever creature found it and just claimed it for its own.
And within the last 100 years, the dragon moved in.
Yeah, let's go with that.
I can't remember how long dragons live, so I was like, how
Long
long?
enough.
Forever.
I was all like, wait a
until
minute.
until an adventuring party shows up.
In
It
this
basically-
story, long enough.
But arguably that means that the dragon would have been living in and working out of this dungeon for the living memory of a generation of humans.
Maybe friendly, maybe not.
There, there's a set of grandparents, parents, and children who only know this dragon. They don't know
Or-
it before this dragon, and they would like to
or-
know it after this dragon.
Or
Yeah.
it went in there and the people were like, "No, this is our home," and the dragon just went, "Nom nom, it's mine now." So I mean, like, could have done that too.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but that could be since it moved in like 100 years ago. That's a foundational story now of a people where they used to live here and now they don't. Because
hey,
a
Are we sure
dragon.
there were
Here?
people there before? Are we sure there were people there before?
Well, that's up to Sasha. Did
Oh,
were the
yeah.
inhabitants before the dragon moved in? Were they the people that the dragon kicked out, or was it just some other group that?
Like
I'm gonna
another
go.
mon-
I'm gonna
like a
go with
lower
this.
monster.
I'm gonna go with this. Where like there were people there, and by the time the dragon showed up, all the people were gone.
Okay, so they left before the dragon rolled in. For whatever
Not even
reason.
leaving. Not
Okay.
even leaving. Like
Well,
I wouldn't say that they were killed so much as
missing.
Raptured?
missing.
Well, I mean, there's a
Raptured?
whole
I
lot
mean-
of traps, puzzles, other monsters that may have also been living here that the dragon just adopted when it moved in. We'll find out when we get there.
Maybe super dimensional portals that open up randomly that they happen to walk through. You know, you never know.
Some people frozen in time, whatever.
Spirits walking around. You never know.
Let's see. Okay, so that covers that. So let us now get to the significant NPCs. So, what kind of dragon would do well in a arid area that is beset by elemental forces, but likes maybe caves and moisture? I'm kind of waffling between an out of place green dragon maybe, because they like to be in like lush jungly areas, but this is obviously not a really good home for them. But the cave itself could keep that like humid lush feel that
That
maybe
verdant
they
feel.
enjoy.
Yeah.
Another dragon that doesn't get a lot of play that would be fun for this particular area, especially if it's a dragon that kind of doesn't get out much, is maybe a deep dragon. Um, they are more traditional to the Underdark. Here's a toss up a picture of one real quick. Or at least try to. And D&D Beyond. D&D Beyond, you're supposed to be easy. There we go. So the thing I like, the thing I both like and hate about the Deep Dragon in D&D's 5th edition is the art for it looks so derpy. It's like glowing blind eyes, and it's like weird mushroom shelf mushroom neck, and its little mouth kind of hanging open like a little baby bird wanting to be fed. And I like the idea of a deep dragon because, like I said, they don't get a lot of play. And this one, deep dragons can command spores and mushrooms and shoot spores at
Ooh.
people. And in a humid cave-like area, I feel like there should be some mushroom like mix in there to kind of sell the difference in environment from the harsh, dry outside to this like kind of mushroomy, lush area that it lives in. So I think we're gonna go with Deep Dragon. I like that being our thing. So I'm gonna add
Our big
that
bad.
as our big bad. Though it is, like I said, the derpiest looking big bad you could ever have. Just
It looks like he's like meh, like literally doing a goose honk sound as
right, right,
It looks like it looks like it told like a cheesy joke and is waiting for people to laugh.
right, exactly. It's just got that mouth open, like, are we laughing yet? Are we like a little trout face just hanging open? Like, um,
Oh my
the
god.
the deep dragons of previous editions looked much, much scarier. But this one I like. He's adorable, but also a villain.
We
Uh,
had in the chat here, somebody had also suggested a clockwork dragon,
mhm.
and that the art for it is fantastic, and it is. I just looked
the
it
the
up.
artwork for the Clockwork Dragon is fantastic. I will support that. But this is a very moist area. Clockwork rusts. I don't want to have to deal
Yeah,
with
that's
like a
true.
rusty dragon, tetanus. Uh,
That would just make it more deadly for
I know, right?
people fighting him.
Every time he attacks, make save versus tetanus. Uh,
Make it con save versus tennis.
um, Also of note, the adult deep dragon can change his shape to magically transform into any creature of medium or small size, while
Ooh.
retaining its normal game statistics. So it doesn't have to be a dragon all the time. I mean, it is a dragon all the time, but it doesn't have to look like a dragon all the time. It can wander around. And I think as because I also get maybe a good or neutral NPC. I think this particular dragon um, also collects beyond like normal treasure that a dragon would collect. It also maybe collects uh, a like other races, other species from the Underdark, um, as like prizes, as like tributes on occasion, and currently a neutral tribute that is down here is we'll say a Darrow savant. So one of those Underdark gnomes, or not? Well, Are they no? I think they're gnomes. I think that's effectively what they kind of are, or Underdark halflings. They're crazy is the important part. They're the whereas the drow are like the scary ones down there, and the Durger dwarves like always try to enslave you or something. The Darrow are just like really really crazy. So I want a Darrow savant who is the who's like a neutral, not really a servant of the dragon, but just like the dragon won't let him leave, and all the dragon's minions know to not let him leave. So he just lives here. He's not terribly happy about it, but he's also like not willing to fight a dragon over it. So we'll set him as a neutral NPC, and maybe we can flush him out a little bit as we go. Um, I've picked 4, so I get to pick a monster, trap, or puzzle that inhabits the dungeon. I have a. See, we've already established that the dragon is a deep dragon, mushroomy in his little shelf mushroom neck frills, has spore issues. So we will put an interesting monster in here. I saw recently a plant monster that spoke to me, and it was, where'd you go? Of course, now that I want it, I can't find it. D&D Beyond, you were supposed to be so easy. The Shrieker fungus as a
Oh,
monster. I
Fun.
will put the picture of it up here real quick to
yeah.
remind. Um, if
Hated
it,
those.
if exposed to light or disturbed, it emits a high-pitched noise that gives them their name. It's an alert feature. Now, I think that this would be best suited in area like the entrance of Area 8, because the upper entrance has like stairs and lookouts and can probably be fortified by uh, whatever humanoid-esque monsters may still inhabit the dungeon. And I don't know what those are, if they even exist. But I think that the dragon would have uh, the shrieker fungus kind of set up at the mouth of the river as it's leaving the cave in Area 8. So if anyone tries to sneak in, the echoes and
Yep.
shrieks of the fungus would kind of travel up through Area
Yep.
7 into the lair. I imagine that the dragon lairs in Area 3 traditionally, and the shrieks of the fungus would give it kind of like an early warning of intruders,
Yeah.
and that would kind of help in that regard. And also, as kind of like a fun aside, if the dragon ever leaves the dungeon through that cave mouth, the sense of it moving through disturbs them, and the shriek of the fungus kind of like heralds its exit every time it comes. So if there's anyone nearby, they can just know that this dragon is leaving, because it
Horrifying.
the screech of the fungus.
Wow.
I love
I
those
love it.
things. I
Um,
love those things.
so I think that's what we're gonna do. I'll put Shrieker fungus, and I will set them up in Area 8. Do I need to spell Shrieker correctly? Okay. Yes, Area
Pop out.
Area 8.
There we go.
And again, its deal specifically is to both be an alarm system of sorts, but also just a chilling herald of its travels as it comes in and out of its home. it wants the people in the dungeon to know it's home, and it wants the people outside to know it's coming for them. So it puts the shrieker fungus at the door,
I love it.
which makes it a little bit more sinister for the derpy dragon
Mhm.
that it is. Uh, but anyway, that is the end of my selections at the moment. The next on the list is Lynn. You get to pick a monster, a trap, or puzzle to inhabit the dungeon.
Yeah, so I was kind of thinking a lot of mentions of like like elementally charged area. What if we put like an water elemental in area 3, like near that waterfall?
Okay.
Um, yeah.
So in
So
the
maybe
area where the dragon lairs, it's got a water elemental that kind of guards it while it's around.
exactly, exactly. Or maybe even just mostly there like whenever the dragon's away and someone sneaks in while it's away. It could be there's just kind of a
Like a treasure guardian.
exactly, exactly.
Okay. Now was the water elemental always there since the beginning, and it's just been adopted by the dragon, or how did the water elemental come to be?
Um
Can it be reasoned
I
with? Can it be negotiated with?
that that is a good question. I
Is
was
there
kind of
a
thinking that was kind of already there. Maybe kind of yeah, recruited by the dragon.
well?
Um
Is there like is it was it summoned? Is there like runic? Is there a puzzle associated with it that you could use to uh, rework its like unbind it or not to send it home, but like to free it from the dragon's control or something? Or can you just negotiate with it?
I do like the idea of the puzzle. Um
Mhm.
One potential idea I was kind of thinking is like maybe in the back of the cave, it's getting like it's starting to get like really cold, especially since it's in tundra area. So maybe it's very prone to getting frozen. Um, as like one way to deal with it. Um,
So it's
it could
weird. It's weirdly weak to cold damage. It slows it down.
Maybe
exactly,
something
exactly.
steam since it's a water elemental. Those like steam puzzle, you know what I'm talking about? That you find in dungeons sometimes.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
like with levers or whatever. I can't remember.
Mhm.
There's one that we did, but it was like ropes you had to pull or something. And
So
anyway,
the either the previous inhabitants or a yet unnamed dragon minion helped set up this water elemental system.
yeah,
Yeah.
something.
And I do like the steam puzzle idea. So because the elemental could kind of sit like near the center of this really big area, but be able to like touch just like different areas with like just forcing steam through the walls.
Oh, someone has really built up this dungeon. It's got like it's got steam pipes. No,
Oh
that's
I
wow.
cool.
mean, if you're imprisoned by a dragon, you probably have a lot of time on your hands.
Oh, is this
So
what the Darrow's been up to?
I guess so. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Using those worm
Yeah.
tubes.
Um, he's got some kind of steam tube system throughout the dungeon, and the water elemental can travel around via it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
But it
right,
would make sense they can't like leave because outside is like more cold and dry.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
So
it could have something where it has to deal with the dragon in some way. That or they've become like mutual friends.
Like a symbiotic relationship. Like a
Yeah,
parasitic
maybe.
symbiotic relationship or something. I
That
don't
or
know.
that or maybe somebody suggested in the chat maybe it could be like indentured to the dragon and that kind of
Oh.
stuff. Maybe there's like maybe he owes the dragon money or something, as in the elemental owes the dragon money. I'm not sure if they're interested in that, but the dragon may like a water slide, so that is a good point in the chat.
I like those. All right. So at the moment, as noted, we have a water elemental. It traditionally lives in Area 3, uh, but it can also travel via steam tubes to various areas of the dungeon.
Yeah, yeah.
These steam tubes may or may not have been created by the Darrow savant who lives here, um, and or they were already a feature of the dungeon from the people who lived here long before the dragon moved in. But they are being used to transport a water elemental around now.
I just had this idea of like a haunted bathhouse.
Yeah, kinda.
It works.
I was like, is that what we're making? I was
Works.
especially with like the deep dragon, the mold spores.
A little bit. Well, speaking of, Sfeet, it is your turn to pick a monster, trap, or puzzle to inhabit the dungeon. Is there
Oh boy.
anything that speaks to you in an area you would like to put it, where it would traditionally hang out?
I mean,
it's not like locked to that area specifically, but that is where it would be most commonly found when adventurers are traveling through the dungeon.
so I had like two different ideas. I really like the idea of like using
Yes, methods, little
methods.
little elemental dudes.
Yeah. Um, they have like the dust ones,
Yep, they're
and they can do
dust, steam, ash, all of the quasi elemental things are effectively methods.
yeah. And like okay, so that like staircase going up to the entrances are number two both entrances,
No, no, no. One is the
or
entrance.
they look
Two
out.
are kind of like watch areas that overlook that. So if you enter into one
Okay.
and then you go immediately up the stairs to your left, you end up in the first lookout area two. And if you go to your down up the stairs to your right, you go up to the other area two, which are both what look to be lookouts that look out
Yeah.
on
But it
to
looks
the.
like the lower two is slightly maybe connected to part of the staircase.
I don't know. Let
Or
me.
maybe it's just the view from
It
this
may just be
angle.
the view from
Maybe.
this area.
Oh, okay.
I
No
can
big
zoom
deal.
this in.
No big deal. Because I
Hold on.
think I have these two different ideas. So it's either like dust methods that are
Yeah, I
like
don't think they're connected. I think
causing.
they're just lookout.
Okay. So I might want them into. I don't know. I kind of want to like stop them from going any further, or
I
distract
mean,
them. So
I mean
I'm thinking of like
they're methods. They can do whatever they want. Um,
yeah. Well, there's like dust methods, or I could do like a centipede kind of creature because they do the burrowing thing.
okay. Yeah, there's like well, I mean, just on the bug side, there's like giant centipedes of sorts that you can
Yeah,
use, or what's the fire
and
ones? Because
they
we
do
need some steam,
ambush.
right? Uh,
Oh, oh, those fire beetles!
yeah. Well, there's the fire
Where do they
beetles, and then
form?
there's
Oh my.
the uh, oh, what elemental bug is that? Hold on a second.
I was
Elemental
like,
to
hold on.
me.
Let me get my handy dandy.
Monster manual. It's like
Yeah.
dusty because I haven't opened it in a
Oh,
while.
they said a purple worm.
Uh,
Oh my.
no,
That'd be
purple
a
worms
fun
are
one.
way too big. I mean, we could. I mean, I'm not in charge of this section. It could be a purple
I'm
worm.
not in charge of this section.
um. Oh, also, if you were looking for anyone
Yo,
who's
the giant fire beetles.
yeah, those and fire snakes. Or what was there's a centipede too. I know there is,
I know there's a centipede because
I was gonna say, I'm
I
pretty sure there's a centipede.
but
giant
I
centipede. Yeah,
cannot for the life of
they
me.
do. They can do bite, ambush, poison damage.
Yeah. There's also from the Tomb of Annihilation book, for if you're looking for anything bipedal, the fire newts.
Oh, those are fun.
Here, I'll throw them up here in case that interests you. So these guys, They're just lizardy, floppy fingered. Happen to have
Mhm.
they live in warm places, which would create steam.
Yeah. But I'm
If
trying
that's
to
if
think
that's
of like
something you're aiming for.
something for something that ooh, I could go really wild and just go like full on like phase spiders at the beginning because they just like any they're unaligned, they like any kind of dark cavernous space, and they're super territorial and they have the webs and all that other stuff. I
Are
think
they
it would be
super
good.
territorial in a way that would? I mean, you're welcome to choose them, but are they super territorial in a way that would play with a dragon and its other minions?
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, it might be too independent.
I don't know. There's these
It's
guys.
just a whole, it's
There's
just a
these
whole
there's
bunch of
these there's
monsters
these
together that
salamander
they all work together.
there's these salamander fire
I
snakes.
mean, did you see the last campaign? I mean,
Right?
it was like Monster High School happening back at the
It
camp.
was
It
it
was
really
crazy.
kind of was. Um,
Um,
That
I
does
wanted
sound like a
something
band
that
name.
like really confuses. So I think I'm gonna go, like stick to my
okay,
first idea and go with like some dust methods
okay.
at
We
the
have dust
beginning.
methods exist. Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah,
These
because
little guys.
they're little guys. They're kind of annoying. Um, they can cause like they can like confuse people and do hallucinations and or illusions in the dust, you know, and like can hide like a trap easily.
All
You know
right.
what I
So
mean?
you want some dust methods that live? You
I
said
want
in
them
like
around the
area
entrance of
area
one.
2.
Basically, like yeah, I guess I want them coming from the lookouts because they're from that arid area, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So,
And they like picking on adventuring parties, tracking up those stairs toward the doorway.
it's like really easy pickings for them.
Yeah.
It's like shooting fish in a barrel for them. So,
And they're not very strong creatures, so like having
no, it's
having the
just
adventurers
annoying.
be at a disadvantage is the perfect time to attack them. When they're kind of like stuck walking up some stairs in a winding staircase up to a
Always at
doorway.
disadvantage because like the methods aren't very like high HP or anything. It's
Oh
not
no,
like
they splat
no,
pretty
yeah.
easily. They
But if you have enough of them, it's really annoying.
hmm
And I would
Well,
like to
these
do
got the blinding breath, so they can like
Mhm.
breathe dust in your face and blind you for a little while, which you might just walk off the stairs.
That
yeah.
is
So I
perfect, especially for area 2. So yeah, that's
yeah.
perfect.
I want them in
And
both area twos if that makes
no,
sense.
that's
And
perfectly fine.
area 1, you could.
I mean, they
Yeah,
could just hang out in that whole. I mean, from area 2, they could very easily fly to area 1,
that's
very
true. So yeah,
because
they're
they
just kind of
they
that's
have
their
a fly
entrance
speed of
area.
like 30 feet, so they could get from area 2 to the stairs of area 1 within like a turn pretty easily.
I love it. Yeah.
All right, so
Little dust devils.
yeah, little
Yay.
dust devils causing some problems for those adventurers who dare walk up the 50-foot climb to the front door.
You better pray that they don't have like one of the characters being like a super clean freak because it's going to be all over for them. Like first is dust and sand and everything else, and then they're going to get inside and it's going to be like muck and mud and spores.
The
Like
materialistic sorcerer just is so mad that their designer robe is now destroyed.
Oh,
yeah, I'm
all
loving it.
right,
It was 300 gold.
all right, Sasha. So next pick is
Mhm.
you for a monster trap or puzzle. Um,
Okay.
so we've got some methods up on the front door. We've got some fungus growing in area 8, but that's doesn't have to be the only thing growing there. We have a water elemental that is based in area 3, but can travel anywhere in the dungeon via steam tubes. The party may disable those steam tubes to prevent it from traveling places, maybe. That could be an interesting little addition of the dungeon to keep the water elemental at bay. Just kind of turn the crank and turn off the tube.
But don't build
Um,
up pressure. No, I'm kidding.
Area 4 still mildly unaccounted for. Uh, Area 7 also still mildly unaccounted for. Theoretically, a treasure is going to end up in Area 5 or 6 at some point.
Mhm.
That seems like a good place to stick a pile of dragon treasure, but it doesn't have to be in both places, or it could. I don't know. Is there any of those areas speaking to you, and are they speaking to you monster, trap, or puzzle?
Well, I kind of want to do a little bit of both a puzzle monster mix.
Okay.
So, what would a dragon be without some very excitable kobolds?
I was wondering when we get to
And
kobolds.
I was wondering
so
about
I
goblins
was
for those. Yeah.
thinking in Area 3, because there's a bunch of these, I think they're like rocks or something that have,
Uh,
it looks like there's dripping, so like it's formed.
oh yeah,
Or
yeah. It's
stalagmites.
basically
Yeah,
like
stalagmites, yeah.
stalactites and stuff.
So,
Now do remember, Area 3 is currently stocked with a dragon and a water elemental.
well, hang on.
Okay,
I got more. Okay, I got more.
okay.
So, for the most part, I would say that the party's gonna probably go through doors 1 and 2 after they realize that 8 is a no-go, and they'll have to deal with the dust mephits, and then more than likely they'll probably turn to 4, and 4, they're gonna find random things that kobolds like to do just there because kobolds like to relax there. And so they're going to find either maybe some bedding, maybe some bones that have been carved into shivs. Maybe they're going to find like little weird traps or mechanisms and they're like, I don't understand what this is.
So
And
Kobold Rec Room, Area 4. Got it.
yeah, let's do that. But then in 3, um, more than likely I feel like 4 they're going to hear that somebody's at the door and they're going to hear the dust mephits. So what they're going to do is they're going to take that time to like sneak to 3 and they're going to like cover themselves up in mud and then like harden and like wait and freeze. And so the party would have to deal with um, maybe they catch something that's in there, like maybe a glimmer of treasure or something that is obviously something that a kobold would put out, which is very clearly, since the water drops there, they're going to see the water, but maybe they're going to see something in the water that's glimmering or shining, and like where it's coming from, it might help enhance it, so they might see it. So they're going to have that there, and the party's going to walk in, and they're not going to see the kobolds as they're standing perfectly still until finally one of them sneezes or something. And then the party is
He has
like,
high perception.
Right.
right, yeah,
I-
somebody's going to be like, wait a minute, and they think that they're statues,
Okay.
so they don't
I-
think anything of it.
I
Love
like
that.
this. I like this. I have one suggestion.
Yes.
So instead of overstocking Area 3,
Hmm.
is I see that Area 8 and Area 7 have some kind of crank lift setup, which I imagine the kobolds set up, right? So when the dragon brings back its treasure and drops it off, then they, turn the crank and get the treasure up, and then they can take the treasure to where it belongs. What if when the party, goes and explores, and Area 4 is, where the kobolds kind of live, but the kobolds move down to Area 7 for the same thing. You see like the little trail of treasure, because treasure comes up and down
Yeah.
those stairs all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
time, right? And so the party follows the trail down to Area 7, where the kobolds do that exact same thing.
That works
Uh,
too.
that way they can either be, if the party somehow sneaks into this dungeon, which is possible. I mean, parties are weird; they get away with stuff. Then they could catch the kobolds in Area 4. But if they are not very sneaky, then maybe there are some some traps or something in area 4, and in area 7 the kobolds have an ambush ready because the party sees like a trail of treasure, and they go to be like, oh
Yeah,
well, this must be where the treasure is, and they go down, and then the
yeah,
kobolds
yeah. They
ambush
could
them
also
there.
do that. They could also do that same pose because of the way that like the whole uh technical like texture and structure of the cave system. They could still do that same method and inside 7, but still sit there and just kind of stand perfectly still
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, just
pretend like they're
pretend to be
statues.
statues, kobold
Yeah.
statues.
And like you could have it where like you have some that are like they go down into 7, and then that first like couple of squares there's one, a little farther down there's one, and they're obviously not perfect because well they're kobolds. So they're not going to be perfectly aligned. Yeah, but they're just like, oh, wait, and they're always covered like in mud. So, and then as a funny thing, you had said that the dragon could change into pretty much any creature,
Yes, that is
and
one of its
and
powers.
and what if it turned into one of the kobolds?
Okay, so like a kobold. What am I looking for? Like a chieftain esque feel. He has like a mushroom
Yeah.
cloak when he's wandering, because he has his mushroom frill that he still kind of
Uh
likes to
huh.
keep. So he has like this, that frilled choker that you see in like the old timey,
Oh, the clown, yeah.
yeah, that
The
that
clown
thing,
collar.
but like a mushroom
Oh,
around
like the
around
Elizabethan collar,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like shelf mushrooms around like a kobold.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
love it.
But it would be just a way for him to kind of see what was going on without the party necessarily figuring out that he is that bad thing. And it's not like he couldn't just immediately go through 7 and go immediately up into 3. I
Mhm.
mean, he would just be like water elemental, way, and just like
I mean, I'm pretty sure
goes
he's a
through
deep
the
dragon. He
water.
could probably just swim up there pretty easily.
I'm pretty sure he had it, but I was just like insert, the water slide, just like away, and like just goes on and goes through, and he could still pretend to be a kobold and just be like, he just like call the water elemental, and it would just sweep up, and he would just surf to 3. But no, it would be that would also just be like the kobold thing. So yeah, I really wanted to put kobolds in here as soon as it was like dragons. I was like, we gotta have kobolds, and I was like, what if we have ones that like cover themselves up? And at first I was like, what if they're like super dry and cracked like the outside, but I can't with the way that it is on the inside of the cave. So I was like, they'll just cover themselves up in mud and then pretend that they're statues and they've practiced being perfectly still
Their
until one of
kobold
them
special,
sneezes.
their kobold specialty.
Yes.
All right. Well, we've populated our dungeon pretty well, honestly. We've got a good mix of elemental and draconic and random underdark inhabitants, and some very screamy mushrooms. Um, but importantly, now that we have our cast all set up, uh, Lynn, you get to decide what the inhabitants of the dungeon want and what have they done recently to attract the ire of the outside.
Okay. So, my initial thoughts are the dragon is basically um was somehow got like out of the Underdark and no way to like, find its way back home. So it's basically trying to turn this cave into like its own Underdark. There's kobolds everywhere. There's a um the steam vents are just constantly running to keep it like very humid and moldy and things like that.
There's a weird
Um,
Darrow wandering around muttering to himself the whole time. It's
exactly,
very much an
exactly.
Underdark area, honestly.
Yeah. So that was kind of the initial thing, and maybe that does lean into the why like neighboring communities want to get him out of there. Maybe maybe like the mold is starting to like creep into the town a little bit since since
Water.
the air since exactly it's in the water, and
Okay, so
since it's
the
very
like mold spores and stuff in the water are like poisoning the population. Not like
exactly
maybe killing
exactly.
them, but like just making everyone sick.
Mm-hmm. I yeah, I'd say that's a good one. Um, especially since like the air outside's very like cold and dry, so that would
People are
carry
dependent. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, so the river and the winds are tainted by mold spores,
Ooh.
which sicken people, and
Yes.
thus the people must uh, I don't know, call on some heroes or something. I think that's
Hmm.
what villagers do when things go wrong. There clearly is never a government with an army to solve these problems. It
No, never.
always has to be just some
Army's
random
busy.
hobos.
Has to be this makeshift militia that they found on the side of the road. Yeah.
Right?
Right,
Just a bunch of
right.
tramps. Yeah.
Private contractors coming in solving problems. All
Dragon
right.
has HOA violation.
So I've got written
Busting
down
boots.
here the dragon wants to expand this area of the Underdark as its domain. And
Mhm.
so maybe the kobolds are, mining out other sections of this hill, trying to make it a little bit bigger. But also they have tainted the river and the winds with mold spores, which are poisoning the local populace to a concerning degree. Uh, with that said, Svi, you get in charge of the main treasure of note that can be acquired in this dungeon. I mean, obviously it's a dragon. There's probably a pile of treasure laying around in one of these areas, but
Yeah.
there's some really fancy stuff as well, and
Yeah.
it's your job to decide that fancy stuff.
So I was like originally thinking like what if there were like past groups of adventurers that got trapped in like some sort of like sand or mud pit or something like that. And if they can retrieve all the bodies out, then they get all the loot that was on those bodies. You know what I mean? And some of them could be of like crazy note because people have been trying to clear this out for like
Of
50
course.
years or something, you know what I mean? So it's like this could be, you know, I don't know, I was just trying to think about like
Is this
how
also
long
like
it's
the
been going
site of
on.
a lost expedition that came to like explore this area before the dragon, but died? We'll say, I don't know, in
In like
areas,
6 or 5.
uh, yeah, in like areas 5 or 6. Like
I
there's
was
maybe
gonna
some
say 6
quicksand
would
or
be good.
something,
6 sounds good because
some
it's
kind of,
near the water, and that would make more
um,
sense if there's some
and
last
then the
trap
dragon moved in
treasure.
and was like, "Hey, free treasure."
Yeah, and like I don't know, I would it would be interesting if like yeah, among that like loot is stuff that maybe even the dragon doesn't even recognize as like valuable, you know, because it's not valuable to the dragon. So maybe it's like a
Some
shield of
ancient tome or
purification or
something.
shit like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, where it's like it'd be kind of lost on the dragon, but a cleric or somebody else would just be like, "Oh fuck yeah," you know.
Shield.
So
Shield? I don't need no stinking shield.
So maybe amongst the expedition there was a well-known wizard,
yeah,
and his magic book, he
a
was a high
tome.
level wizard, so his his tome is said to have like level 7 spells in it or something,
Hmm.
or whatever. But he disappeared here, and then a dragon moved in, so his tome's got to be there somewhere, right?
Yeah, yeah, I like
Um,
that.
is that kind of what you were?
Yeah, basically, yeah, something that like yeah, the dragon wouldn't realize as like they wouldn't put, it's not just regular gold stuff, you know what I mean? It's something that would be like humans would be like, oh, we need to get this, like, you know, old ancient knowledge or something, you know.
Chad, a Ferrari parked in the corner. That's perfect.
All right, so people, so arguably what we're saying is that, well, it's treasure that maybe people know about or don't know about.
Yeah, it's
Um,
rumored,
rumored.
because this book
So
maybe contains spells that are like, you know, like you said, super high level, but
All
since nobody
powerful.
normally is like even at that level that comes through town, like everybody's like, oh, that's just rumors. Like it's like saying that, like, oh, they found the Holy Grail or whatever. They're like, sure, right,
some
no.
dead there's some Dead Sea Scrolls in here somewhere, and
Yeah, right. And
um, there's some papyrus in a jar, and I swear one of them has wish on it, and
Scroll of Wish, Staff of Power, right? Yeah. Give me one whole rod.
there was look,
Yes.
it
12
was
gold.
it
Scroll
was
of Wish.
it was when it was a
Ancient Dwarven
story. It
Outpost.
was a story of my grandfather. He saw the wizard come through town with his expedition. They went off into the cliffs to explore this lost civilization's like remains, and they were never heard from again. And before anyone got out there to figure out what the problem was, a dragon moved in. And now no one gets to find out what it is because there's a dragon there. So that's the local lore. Is that like some?
I got more.
Yeah.
I think I have the one of the last ones, so it's like I got more. I got more I can add to this. I
Well,
got
you do.
everything. It's all up here.
All right. So
Yeah.
so we've got a little bit here. Well, I'll just write tied to local lore as a note here. As to this ancient wizard tome, which, to be honest, could just be, if you're a DM, a book with some high level spells in it that your wizard character like really wants to get his hands on, or there are several artifact or high level magic books in
Mm-hmm.
D&D that that could be a substitute for this weird high level magic tome. It could be like some kind of
Yeah.
book of intellect that like permanently raises your intelligence by reading it, stuff like that. These are
Codex of an Infinite Planes is what they said in
yeah.
chat.
Yes, it turns out, well, this is an elementally charged area, right? So maybe the
Oh!
wizard it was well versed in the various elemental planes and had a codex of the planes with him. That because that was just his. That was his. Because he was a scholar of the elemental planes, and now it's just lost here. I mean that arguably tracks for the setting.
Yeah.
It does. It does.
But yeah, so that's a main treasure. There's a fancy book here
Yeah.
somewhere, and it could either be really high level magic or a really high level magic item that does really
Mhm.
cool things.
Yeah.
Up to the DM to decide kind of how that goes. But
Yeah.
you're saying that wherever it is it still in the area where the quicksand is, or has
Yes.
the
Because I
dragon
want it.
removed it and it's now in their treasure hoard?
No, I want it to be in the quicksand because I want it to be an item like that the dragon doesn't like hold value in, or doesn't
I'll say
realize the weight of
quicksand area
value.
6.
Or either
Could
that
have
or it's
it.
written in a language that the dragon can't read or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Right.
that or you can also have it where it's at a particular spot where the party sees it and then it activates the trap.
Or well,
yeah.
no, like maybe it's
Because like
just laying
I want
like
the
on the
guy
sand.
no, I want the guy to still be holding the tome.
Right.
Like
but
legit.
like do you want him like grasping the tome but like partially out of the ground as like a warning that if you go to it you fall into the quicksand, or do you want it like kind of hovering Like if you do you want it like sitting on the sand with like a skeletal hand out of the ground like on top of it, and you just don't
I
know
like
it's
that.
quicksand, and then when the party
Yup.
goes over to investigate, they fall in. Is
I
that
Mm-hmm.
like I
I
like
like
the
that.
latter option. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that with the hand that
Yeah.
just is gripping onto it, and you could
Yeah.
see that it was its
Mhm.
last like
It's
will was to
nails.
hold
right?
it.
But it could,
Yeah.
but it could just be like somebody's hand. Like
Hmm.
you don't know that there's more body underground.
Yeah.
That would be a good
And
one. I like that one.
with like rings, because obviously they're a wizard. They probably have some like
Right,
rings of attunement and stuff like that. Like yeah. So there's other treasure around,
right.
but
But
that's that main
that's
one
not the
that they just
important
have
See that?
piece.
to.
I could see that the
Yeah.
claw marks on the book too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like where
It's
they're like
like
trying to hold on to it, or
yeah.
trying to cast a spell or something as like a last ditch
Last
effort.
ditch attempt. Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
I like this. I like this. There's a little bit of a trap mechanism along with the treasure.
Yeah.
It evokes like an interesting surprise.
Especially if they beat the dragon first, and then they're gonna be like, wait, what?
And then they think they're good. They think they're okay. They think they made it, and then they fall into sand.
Better hope you got the rope.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I like that. That's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can work with that.
Our last
Um,
adventurers went in on just hopes and prayers, and it was not enough.
all right. So that brings us to question 10. Sasha, you have the why. So why are the player characters going to this dungeon?
Okay. So here's what I got. They're in their present day, and they're looking possibly for something, and they go to usually some kind of board that has like quests and things that can offer it, or they start hearing some rumors and whatnot. And if they go to the quest board or wherever they would call it, um, they would find a missing persons styled warrant, like one they get rewarded for. So a quest where they can look for somebody who's been missing for like 20 years. Now, I'm not saying not like the people that were already originally in there. We're just saying someone who disappeared, and they were rumored to be over by there. They were last seen maybe a few miles out from that tundra entrance, and that's the last that they were seen of. But it's rumored because I read this in chat, and it was just perfect for the name of the dragon is Black Mold. I like that. I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
So that's when I was just like, oh.
Oh my
But
God, yeah.
so it's rumored that something that is called the Black Mold has been in and around there, and it's known to be kind of a dragon. So it may have possibly kidnapped said person or something along those lines, or that person who went missing went to investigate it and never came back. So that's a good way for the party to get in, and then hearing the rumors about possibly maybe some good stuff in there too of
does the
getting.
party know that the dragon's name is Black Mold, or is that something they will learn? Like they hear that
I
there's
think that's
some
what
kind
they'll
of
hear
black
through
mold,
rumors.
and then like when they get there, they will find out that that is actually a dragon,
Yeah, I like that.
not a
Yeah,
thing.
they'll not expect it to be a dragon. They'll expect, oh, maybe it's some kind of fungus or some kind of thing that we can just, throw some water on it and call it good or whatever. Clean it, get some soap. Like,
The
but
wizard's like, I got
there's
prestidigitation. We can solve for
Purify with
this.
but yeah,
fire.
but it's like the whole point where they hear that rumor where it's like, and black mold has been known to be there and reside there, and they just go, oh, whatever, we'll just bring some extra soap, it'll be fine. And then they go, oh, black mold, oh no. so so yeah, like they go through that, and then they find that NPC that introduces like, such and such went missing, and I can't find them, but they've been known to be over there,
Now,
and
just a quick
then
question: this NPC that's missing, is this just like a random villager who wandered off? This isn't like the wizard from 50 years ago, because if a
no,
wizard
no, no, no,
disappeared
no,
like
not
50
that.
years ago, people will have given up on them in 50 years, I
No, 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 no.
think.
So this is something that's been around for a long time. They're an archaeologist. They wanted to
Okay,
discover history, and they wanted to find an ancient civilization there.
so is there a dead archaeologist somewhere in this dungeon?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, just checking. Um, so they're searching for somebody who did not make it, but happens to be the body
That
is
could be
here
in
in.
Area 5. That could be in Area
Okay.
5
Yeah, I was gonna say
with
Area
maybe a
5 or
journal.
even Area 8. We could have another body,
Yeah,
so
that's true
just to
too.
give them more
I figured,
context.
yeah, I figured either put something in 5 or put something in 8. 8 might be a little easier, because it could be that maybe they fell from 7 to 8,
Or maybe
and
they
then,
snuck into 8 and then the warning system
mm,
kicked off and then,
yep,
well, a
that
dragon.
too. Yep, that too. And it could be, and they have like a journal. So I figured like it could be one of the two ways. So if they fall and they fall through 7, they could get severely injured where they just kind of slowly unalived and made a journal. So they read all these journal entries and it can give the players information about possibly other creatures there or maybe warnings or something along
Day,
those lines or just like a whole bunch of lore and information that
day
could be
1, I
put in.
infiltrated the dragon's lair. I fell down a shaft and broke both my legs. I'm here.
And it was just,
I'm surviving on mushrooms, uh,
yeah,
and
as their legs don't work, so they're
right.
just like
I ate
crawling
these
everywhere.
mushrooms and now I can't move. I can barely
Yep.
move my hand, which is enough to scribble these words.
It could also be that they also have like previous journal entries where they were like, it's rumored that some kind of black mold is infested into this cave
Right.
system. And so I'm going to investigate it because I really want to find this lost civilization because it's been told in a lot of these, there's like ancient tablets that may possibly be led to deeper magic that we could find and we could utilize. And so
Then later it's
that's what
like,
they like find. They find why he's there, why he or she or they go missing and all that stuff. They could figure out why they do that. And then they can figure out the person's like, oh, they've slowly, oh wow. Oh man, this poor person.
it's
So and
like
then you could give
it's like
it could give the
the howls
party.
of the fungus torment me day and night as the dragon comes in and out.
I think he does it on purpose.
It 100% does it on purpose. It turns
Yeah.
its head and gives
Oh
me
my
a
god,
derpy
It's-
look every
that
time it
is
does
so
it.
funny, dude. Oh, my kittens are off, but yeah.
Goodness. But yeah,
Oh
that
my
that would
god.
be that whole point where like they do that and so the party has proof that they found the person and the party has proof of it with like maybe they have some kind of trinket or something to prove that they found them and with the journal and stuff like maybe they could do that and then they would get 2 rewards in one go.
Yeah, and they could always this could make it a multi-day thing, you know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like a
but I really
multi-quest thing out of one dungeon, you know what I mean? Because maybe they just need to get information about the lost archaeologist first.
day 2 I'm covered in mud. The kobolds think I'm one of them. Day 3 the water elemental cleaned off the mud. I'm going to
I was dying of thirst until the water elemental came and cleaned me.
The water elemental showed pity, but knew he wasn't going to make it.
Way too many journal entries here, guys. I don't know. I think they were just taunting him at this point.
Filled the whole book. The whole journal's filled.
He's like, day 56, I taught the kobolds how to English.
I taught the kobolds how
the
to put
kobolds
the
speak
how to put
common
the mud
now.
on better.
They only
I taught them to be
use the
statues.
words I taught them to mock me.
Taught them how to use the mud better and taught them how to pretend to be statues.
We play red light, green light. I don't know what those mean, but the kobolds stop moving whenever the shrieking fungus makes the noise.
There's also this really weird horseless carriage in the corner. It looks really fast. But yeah, that's what I wanted to do with it. As soon as like I heard the name and then it was just like sounds really good. I was like, now I've got it. Someone goes missing, the party can find it, and then they find all that stuff in there and they were just like, whoa, we found so much stuff that we weren't expecting.
Mhm.
All right, so it looks like we've got a pretty good lair. Does anyone have any like finishing touches they would like to sprinkle on this?
You know those like floating spore things?
Get the
Is what I'm
gas
talking
spores that
about?
are yeah that are they the things
Yeah,
that
that like
kind
if
of look like beholders but are 100% not? And then like when you attack
no,
them, they
just the ones that
explode.
like yeah, I think we should have a few of those in there sprinkled about.
Okay.
Just
I
just in
think
general, like things to because like especially that first hallway, like
Because yeah, it's hold on a second. It is the D&D Beyond. Come on now.
yeah. I guess I just want a couple little environmental things, not traps per se, but just stuff
These
they kind of have to watch out for. You know what I
these
mean?
yeah.
Like
guys.
I think I
Yeah.
have something for 5 because we didn't really put anything in
There we
5, and I
go.
think I've got
These
something
these little
for it.
gas spore
yeah.
funguses.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Um,
about.
Mhm.
they just kind of
Because they're
float
kind of
around,
perfect in
and
the Underdark.
when you hit
Yeah.
them, they explode.
Yeah.
Fun.
And if people aren't familiar with them, like party members can accidentally set them off. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And
Yeah.
they do give like weird little beholder vibes.
Yeah, they do a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think I've got something for 5 because we didn't really put much in 5.
I think 5
Yeah,
was
that's
going to
where the
be
dragon
where the
retreats came
dragon's
from.
like main treasure hoard was going to be,
Main treasure is okay. That's fair.
which wasn't a like a treasure of note, just a pile of treasure.
Yeah.
Right, which would probably be not necessarily directly in 5, but probably like on that far little corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know what you're
Mm.
talking about.
Lynn,
So that way
anything?
they don't immediately see it.
Lynn, you got anything?
Uh, no, not really. I think I can't think of anything else really.
I
All right.
I have I have one that's fun. It doesn't have to be in there, but it's gonna be something that Ben's gonna be like, "Ugh, again." Um, so Ben knows I love goblins, and
You do.
um, having a hermit that is a mushroom goblin
So how
that
does it
is
get along with the kobolds?
um well, it maintains the shrieker mushrooms, and it also would trade with the kobolds.
So does
If
it
not
mostly
be
live? Would it
praised one of
mostly
the
live in
mushrooms.
like Area 8?
Yeah,
And
like in
never
that
really
far back
go back
corner.
up. Like occasionally, it would trade with
Yeah,
the kobolds by putting stuff
yeah,
on the little
yeah.
crank.
Yep.
Um,
It's definitely a goblin that's kind of a little crazed, maybe like an eye twitched. Um, and it's just there, and it has the mushrooms that it grows, trigger mushrooms, and it also makes it where it'll help defend the dragon's lair, and that's kind of how it gets along with the dragon.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
It's
so
half crazed,
it
and they
maintains
work
the
together.
mushroom security system down here.
Yeah, adds more just to make the guy dying upset. But yeah, no, it would be stuff like that. Maybe even sprinkling other mushroom spores, helping with those spore creatures, and doing that kind of stuff.
Okay, that could be
It
fun.
would be a fun one. It would be another NPC that could be beneficial or detrimental to the party.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's pretty solid. So we've constructed ourselves a really fun dungeon. It's got um, a nice outside kind of elemental feel to it. You can get a lot of work, I think, out of like the travel to the dungeon with like the dust storms and maybe some light elemental monster encounters. Maybe one of those land sharks kind of lives outside among as one of those random encounters you do on the road. You could do like a little earth, a lot of earth elementally things, or
Mm-hmm.
wind elemental or air elemental things, to kind of tease the nature of the area. There's plenty of history to this dungeon. It looks like it has a bit of an ancient cataclysmic beginning. Some kind of old civilization kind of worked it over a little bit. So you could kind of, if you were a DM that wanted to sprinkle in some ancient civilization carvings on the wall that maybe the kobolds defaced. Who knows? You know how kobolds do.
Yeah.
Um, and then now it's covered in slime and fungus and humidity, so the walls are slick with spore and stuff. So that gives a nice bit there. We discovered that we're definitely running a deep dragon. It's got a couple of it's got a darrow that hangs out, maybe a goblin in the basement, um, and a handful of elemental creatures, funguses, some some kobolds doing its dirty work as kobolds are very wont to do. We found some really fun other bits along the way. Uh, like I said, if you're designing a dungeon like this is one fun way to do it. You get all your friends together and you get a map, and you're like, "Hey, let's build a dungeon." And now we have a dungeon that I would run this at as bare minimum as a one shot at a convention. I think like this
Yeah.
has legs that I could kill 4 hours at a table at a convention with this kind of adventure, giving the
Yeah.
party plenty of things to do, a reason to be there, that could
Hmm.
be pretty open. It's like, hey, you're here for the treasure, or hey, you're here looking for a person, but while you're here, uh, the archaeologist has notes that he's here because he remembers that a wizard uh, got lost here a long time ago, and he's looking for the ancient book that now there's treasure here, and you've got monsters you have to fight and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was a in chat mentioned that maybe that goblin trained the shriekers to do multiple tones
Oh,
and has like an ominous minor key when the dragon leaves and then has a
oh,
different tone when the dragon comes
oh
back.
man,
So it really throws the party through a loop.
Wow. I love
fungal
it.
shrieker pipe organ.
Yes.
Oh,
Sick.
jeez.
I love it.
Talk about a fungus church. Oh my
I know,
god.
right?
I love it. I love it. Love it.
But yeah,
Do,
yeah. So this is what you could
do.
do. These are really fun. If you haven't watched them, again, go back. We've done at least two of these before. They have turned out equally fun both times.
Mm,
First one was a little wormy, but you know that was honestly one of the best parts about it.
it
We
was
built an
fun. It
entire
was a lot of
dungeon
fun.
around like space worms for some reason, and that was not
It
intended
was,
at any
it was,
point.
wasn't it you like you had to do the worm in order
Yeah,
to like get past a
yeah.
spot?
One of the traps was the floor was it was a salt. It was like a salt cave. So when the water drained out from underneath, there was like a thin layer of salt, like ice, but not ice. And it wouldn't support you if you walked across it, but it would support your weight if you kind of like wiggled across it like a worm.
Oh my
So that's
god.
that's how you could defeat that trap. We don't have that trap here. We have some quicksand.
Yep.
Um,
Quicksand.
but uh, but
We
yeah,
gotta be quicker than that.
so I'll post this up as I did the last couple on in our Discord in case for future reference anyone wants a really fun dungeon idea. We have the map and kind of what we created. You can scale this pretty easily to whatever size party you want by just kind of moving the slider of how active the water elemental is, how many kobolds there happen to be. The dust mephits and the shrieking mushrooms aren't high level monsters by any means. Um,
But if you get
there's
enough of them, real annoying.
right. Like they're a problem, but they're not a danger to speak
Yeah.
of. Um, you can maybe the Darrow is more against the party. Maybe it can be negotiated with. Same with the water elemental. I like the idea of maybe the something binding the water elemental here is a puzzle that if you solve, maybe you can turn the water elemental against its previous owners
Mhm.
to give help balance out the encounter a little bit if you want to run this in a more low level setting and make it more intellectual as opposed to combat focused.
Yeah. There's a
I
lot of
like
different
having
directions.
Yeah, I like having that with dungeons where parties don't have to just murder hobo their way through it, where they can actually interact with stuff
I
and actually kind of go, oh, if I do this, this will happen instead of just going, ah, and just like charging in and just, destroying everything in their way.
Yeah.
So
I can't
I
see
like
in
it when they're
chat at
able
the
to do that.
moment. Who came up with the idea of black mold? I appreciate that.
Uh, uh,
Killer.
killer, yeah.
Killer.
Okay, good job, Killer. I appreciate that.
And then like it's spelled like all British,
Is
like
it like BLAQU?
BLACKE.
Oh, oh,
CKEMOULD.
oh.
So good.
Um,
He said he's returning the favor.
seems good.
So dragon
Um,
smokes a pipe in the intellectual version.
sure. I mean, I'm gonna remind everyone what the deep dragon looks like again. Just to
Hey guys, like
so to review, this guy now just to
Yeah,
here. Let's see what deep dragons used to look like.
the derpy one. It's like,
Um,
yes, I see that you're adventurous here.
It's not gonna let me. All right, we'll do this the other way.
It's
Images.
like a long,
Hey, remember when
prolonged
deep
pipe.
dragons used to look cool with like large, like snake-like heads and sharp edges and had like this purplish, like sheen to them and very smooth, like broad bladed skulls. Not anymore. Not anymore. We are straight up mushroom frill neck, derpy mouth dragons. And on the one hand, I hate them, but on the other hand, I love them so much.
They're so derpy. You love them.
I know.
This dragon does look way more huggable than the other one. So
I
that's,
know,
that's
right? Like they used to be let's see if
used to be dope.
it's not gonna let me do things. They used to be cool and hang out, like slithering around stalactites with their sinewy bodies and would dive upon you with their bladed heads and not
Because they're
anymore.
just like, yes.
Not anymore. Now we're
Not,
we're we're
not
100% just the derpiest mushroom dragon.
anymore.
But
was just 'cause did them dirty. It's true. They did that to quite a few dragons. Did them dirty.
um but like I said, on the other hand, as much as I hate them, I also love them. So I guess it works. But with that said,
I love them.
yeah. But with that said, we've made it to the end of our dungeon draft. So
Yeah.
good job, team. We built a dungeon. It was fun to go along. We got a lot of interesting stuff that I had not planned for along the way, as is the case with these. And again, 100%. Gather your friends together and just make dungeons and see what you guys come up with. This is a fun exercise for aspiring DMs. It helps if you have other people who've done some of this before, or at least run some dungeons to kind of steer in a direction or not, but be able to roll with the weirdities that may or may not come up. You'll find that you just get a better dungeon when a bunch of people come together and help build it.
Yeah.
It feels more lived in, honestly, than what I would have come up with on my own. So thank you for that. To remind all of the important things, if you like what we do and would like to see us do more of it, feel free to like us and or subscribe to us, as they say, down below. If you have a Twitch Prime subscription that you're not using, it's free, and we like using Amazon's money to do cooler things. And same deal. If you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you have a Twitch Prime subscription that you may not know about. We again, if you're not using it, Jeff Bezos does not need your money.
Mm-mm.
He's got plenty of money. He just had a really, really fancy wedding recently, if I remember correctly, and he's good. So, other than that, hang out with us on YouTube. We'll post this again up there as soon as we're done here, or just come back and watch it, or just come hang out with us on our Discord. We do sit around and chat about D&D on occasion in the various sections. The more people who come in and actually converse with us, the more likely we are to converse. Otherwise, we just do it on our own time amongst ourselves because we can. But yeah, so thank you for hanging out with us this evening, and we'll catch you all next month. I'm not really sure exactly what we're going to do. We'll probably post it up on the Discord. We'll figure it out as we tend to do in this regard. So see y'all later. Bye.